people are concerned about what they're eating. The awareness is there. The food that we eat is just as important as the cars we drive. 20 years ago, you wouldn't have heard that. We are what we eat. Why not eat the best? My name is Eric Vanderheide, and I started Barefoot Gardens with my wife Linda in 2008. Barefoot Gardens is a small-scale, dynamic farm. So we went from backyard gardeners to growing food for our community. We knew we had an uphill battle. Soil fertility was really low. Towards the end of our year, families in our CSA would talk to neighbors, would talk to other family members. We had people emailing us and contacting us saying, hey, we want to be a member, and we really didn't want to overcommit and totally fail. We had to be efficient, we had to be productive, we couldn't spend time chasing our tail. That's kind of the way it came about. That third year, we planted potatoes, and I had the bed shaper, which had discs on the back, and I was like, oh, I just want to be able to ride over this row of potatoes, not with the bed shaper down, but just with a disc to kind of hill up the potatoes. I kind of started to formulate this idea of a frame system where you could have multiple attachments. That way you could be able to pull off a disc hiller and then hook up a cultivator. SARE, the Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education, has grant funding available for farmers. So we put our proposal together to create a prototype that would kind of encompass these ideas. We got our letter from SARE saying that the project was going to be funded and that we could proceed. So the main frame was built. It can take 3 different system bars all at one time. You can use 1 bar, you can use 2 bars, or you can use 3 bars. The main frame is the connection to the tractor, a 3-point connection. A lot of the implements that we've created use off-the-shelf products. All it would need would be a different connector piece to attach it to a 2-inch by 2-inch square bar. That can go on. Within the main frame is the connection points for the gauge wheels. When we're digging potatoes, a root digger is going to dig deeper into the ground to get below the row of potatoes and lift them out of the ground so we can harvest them right off the back. We've got kind of an S-tine cultivator. The S-tines are set with different sweeps, so we can have a goosefoot type of sweep. The spider tine cultivators we use to do our footpaths. A lot of times we'll have just a finish rake where we can run over the beds, which will take any of the weeds that have germinated and they're coming up 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch high, and that finish rake will take off the weeds and we can direct seed or transplant right into kind of a finish raked bed. The seeders were designed using just a lightweight, pretty economical earthway seeder. With 1 bar, we can either direct seed 1 row, 2 rows, or 3 rows, depending on what the crop is that is going in. And we can change pretty quickly between that. Once the seeder is on and it's set, it's pretty much set. I know it's going to seed where it needs to seed. There's the subsoiler, just a long shank with a subsoiler shoe on top of it, which digs through as we've tilled to get our beds ready at the depth that the tiller goes to. In the springtime, we have a furrower. We can hook up the furrower and dig a groove in the soil that we'll plant our potatoes into. And once the potatoes are planted, we can take that bar off and hook up the disc hiller bar. The disc hiller bar has 2 discs set. We can set the spacing on those to throw the dirt back up on top of the potatoes. We can take off the disc hiller after we're done hilling the discs, and we can hook up a trailer. We've loaded some compost and drive that trailer over to where we need the soil. We'll use the platform on harvest days, back up right underneath the platform, raise the frame and pin the platform in. We can throw empty buckets on, take them out to the field. The harvest crew is out there, they're pulling beets and turnips, and we can just run through with a tractor and load the full buckets back up onto the platform, take it back to the wash pack shed and get it out of the sun. With the frame system, it allowed us to be more efficient with our time. That allowed us to go to 45 families. Our 5th year, we're were selling at the Doylestown Farmers Market. I quit my job and I'm doing the farm full time. We deliver produce to about 10 restaurants in the area. A friend of ours picks up vegetable grease from those restaurants. He reprocesses that vegetable grease into biodiesel. We buy that biodiesel from him to run in our tractor, to cultivate and plant and work our fields, where we then take that produce back to those restaurants. So those circles are coming around. As people are aware of buying local, of supporting their farmer, of buying the food from somebody that has a face, small-scale farming is making a resurgence. The sun's setting, it's a beautiful time of day, and you know, we're gonna go out there and make a difference again tomorrow.